Hello everyone, welcome to another video. So in this video I'd like to show you some harmonic progressions that they are really famous in the classical music, and you as a music therapist you can use these chord progressions when you are playing. So I have one example from Bach, one example from Pachelbel and another example from Paganini. For sure I'm not showing examples for all the different periods of the music history, but the plan is that I would like to show you some really important chord progressions that you can use when you are playing. So the first from Bach, I think for me it's really beautiful because even when I started hearing Bach, in some ways I was thinking about, but actually I heard this before, where? And I started to observe that many composers of neoclassical heavy metal, they use many of the Bach chord progressions. And I think one idea, so if you want to hear nice things regarding classical music, I really suggest for you to hear neoclassical heavy metal because they extract many of the main ideas that we have from the classical music, from different periods of the classical music. And I think that I heard the first time, the first thing that I presented to you from the Bach Orchestral Suite 3, so the air. So I will play the first part, which is in D major. And I think that I heard this example in one of the Hugh Malmsteen, the famous Swedish guitar player, in one of his songs, and I was thinking, wow, this is pretty cool. I really want to play this chord progression when I'm improvising with my clients, or I need to create something. And I think that for the clinicians, this is a nice example that you can play in many repetitions, just doing loops in many different ways. And it's pretty cool that you hear the possibility to connect the chords in many different ways, creating tension, so preparing with the different basses, just doing the movement, so you can hear something typical from the Baroque. You can hear the movement in the bass, just preparing for the chord. So I will play the whole thing twice, so if you want to improvise together with me, and afterwards I will explain the chords and the things that we played. So let's go. So in this example, it's interesting that the example is in D, but I'm finishing in A major. So in a way that the Bach is just preparing for the next section. So yes, this example is pretty cool because I start playing the D, I play the A in the first inversion, so in a way that I have the C sharp and the bass, just preparing this going to B, and afterwards the B with the A in the bass, And here the cool part, so this E chord, so I have the E, but not the typical E, I have the E as well in the first inversion, just to preparing to the A in A7 with the bass in G, just going to the F half diminished, F sharp, sorry, half diminished, the same chord but with the bass in E, just preparing for, and here the dominant, so in this case for the dominant for E, in this case the B7 with the D sharp and the bass, the B7, and here I just arrive in the E minor and I just continue this movement, so E minor, going to D, going to, so just the E minor with the bass in D, so afterwards I have A major with the bass in C sharp, just following the movement, and I have the A7. And here in the last part of this specific section of the music we have the D, and I have one really fast part when I play the D with the bass in C sharp, preparing for the B minor 7, going to E7 and A, but I will not finish here, so no, again, so the D, in this case playing the subdominant, dominant E7, and I finish in A major. Something really, really beautiful. So this is my first example for you. The second example that I have here for you is one example from Pachelbel, from the Canon C major, no, not in C major, sorry, the Canon in D major, so the typical Pachelbel Canon D major. So this chord progression is so cool, we can hear in many different places, and I really love this chord progression. So I have the D, A major, B minor, F sharp minor, G major, D major, G, A, and D. So I will play twice if you want to improvise with me in this specific frame. So this is example from Pachelbel, and I forgot that I have actually more than 3. I have here for you today, I have 4 examples. So my next example is from Brahms Symphony number 3 in C major, that we have one example of the chromatic median. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about, so please watch the previous video that I explained for you what is the chromatic median. So of course the chromatic median, it's a chord that I have in the relation by thirds, and in this case I have one example that I'm playing from the C. So I have here the C, and I'm playing a really different chord that I'm playing. If I take the relation from the C, I have here, the major, a major third from the C. And this is interesting that we can use for many ways of playing, because when I have this possibility of playing in the C, I have this really interesting sound that I would like to show you in a moment. So I will play. So for sure, here you have the major third, so from the C going to, in this case, A flat major. So I have a relation of a third, but as I said to you, a third down, a major third down. So now let's go to the examples of Brahms. So this chord progression, it's really cool. So for sure I'm not playing exactly with the rhythm and with the melody of the Brahms, but just to show you this really nice example of chord progression. So I will play again, just in a way that you can perceive, and afterwards I will explain. So in this case, I'm playing C major, so I have the C, so I have the subdominant going to C, but here I have the chromatic median, the the E flat major, going to C, again the A flat major, but now I have my subdominant minor going to C. Pretty cool. And my last example for today will be an example from Paganini, so the Caprice number 24 in A minor. So here, for me, this is amazing, the harmony that we have here. So if you're not familiar with this specific piece, I will just try to do the melody with my mouth, so just to give you an idea where I'm playing. And probably you recognize, because many pop artists and heavy metal artists, they use it, the Paganini influence, just to create something really interesting. So we have the typical So yes, we have the typical harmony in the harmonic minor scale, so we have the first and the fifth. And afterwards, something that I really love to hear, so that you have this movement that you're going by fifths. So in this case, you're playing fifths but going fifths down, so you have this pretty cool movement. So you prepare with the A7 and you start here in the B minor going to G, and afterwards you have C going to F, you have the B half diminished going to E7, and you go to E. So this pretty cool movement. And for sure, if I want to say, okay, I'm doing this movement as well, doing by fourths, because if I consider A to D, G to C, F, in this case I have an augmented fourth to B, and afterwards I have E to A. So So I hope you had fun with me, and these 4 examples, they are pretty important in the history of music, and for sure you can elaborate your frames to improvise with your clients using all these different possibilities. So even that I just present one minor example, so I think it was a really important minor example considering the 4 things that I presented to you. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Bye bye.